Hey, everybody. Hey, sickos. Welcome to the Bulwark After Dark. I'm your host, Tim Miller. I'm here with it's bro hour tonight. You know, it's the only people that could stay up this late at the Bulwark. It's Joe Perticone on site in Chicago, Andrew Egger, author of Morning Shots, Sebastian Hughes, the next level super producer extraordinaire. Gentlemen, okay. It was just okay for me. But if you made it up this late, if you were here at 12:20 a.m. in the East, looking for live reacts to night one of the DNC, we should give you a little something. So why don't we just go around the horn and have everybody say one thing they thought was nice tonight, one thing that was positive before we get into the big picture. Let's be positive. Sebastian, you're
Press start
first.
with me. Press
Yeah.
start with me. I think that it's over, and that's a really
Oh,
good.
Sebastian. We'll come back to you
No,
last.
no. Okay. What I will say is that I think heading into this thing, if we look back a couple weeks ago and we thought that there would be like this level of unity in the Democratic Party, and I remember the RNC. Everybody was just like everybody was chill at RNC. Everybody was vibing. Everything was a wreck in the Democratic Party, and just like it seemed to be even compared to 2016, like in 2020, the most unified the party has been, and that's an amazing thing. And ups and downs, but Jasmine Crockett was great. AOC was great. I'm sure scaring some centrist Democrats that she's the 2032, 2028 front runner, but it'll be it was
Jasmine
good.
Jasmine was really good tonight, and there was a lot of unity. I concur with that. Andrew Egger, did you feel any feelings tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's very late. Thank you all for staying up with us, and like that lends a grouchiness to like our just kind of vibes about the whole thing. But like
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
well,
I'm trying to be funny.
the thing is, there's not like a single like undecided voter in America who like sat down to watch like to mainline the DNC tonight and was like, well, will it grab me? Will it enthrall me from beginning to end? I mean, that's not really what it's for. It's not what it's about. It's about generating kind of like good vibes in the party, building on that Kamala momentum, creating these clips to kind of go viral on social media tomorrow, and they will. There were a lot of good moments, a lot of good hits on Donald Trump, a lot of good, as you say, Sebastian, just kind of little appearances from kind of rising stars in the party. Obviously, Joe Biden got up and gave exactly the speech he was going to give, even if he had gone on an hour earlier, which is totally his prerogative as the president of the United States. It was long. It was a lot of rehash from a lot of stuff we've heard of him before. But if we're going positive stuff, first, the fact that he was willing to put himself in this situation to begin with, this kind of horrible situation for him personally, that he was willing to bite the bullet and step aside and be the first night guy and get kind of the conciliatory thank you, Joe, cheers instead of the 4 more years and all that. And I will say I teared up at the America, I gave my best to you bit from Joe Biden tonight. So that
John Meacham pulling at Andrew Egger's heartstrings with the American anthem.
Ordinarily, I try to be above such things, but no, it got me.
I love that.
It got me
I love it. I wanted to feel feelings. Didn't happen for me tonight. I'm hoping to feel some feelings later on this week. Joe, what was happening on the ground? What was the highlight from inside?
The highlight was definitely when AOC spoke because it woke people up. Kathy Hochul was putting everyone to sleep. Like the entire run up to AOC speaking, it was just like snooze after snooze. And then it was kind of like a rapid fire. And so I think they did a really good job of stacking the deck with people who got the crowd up once prime time came to shove. But you could see, like, I stepped out before Biden finished because he spoke well past 1 a.m. in the East. And,
No, it's only
It's
12:24.
I'm very delirious right now. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime. Anyway.
Joe Biden outperforming Joe Perticone, and people said he was too old.
I know.
Okay, I will add. I thought the abortion stories were good and powerful, and I like the ones that they chose, in particular, which they've been, I think, very good about picking anecdotes that are going to unite people that are pro-choice, also people that are like kind of even pro-life, just in the nature of the how sympathetic the stories were and how kind of outrageous the situations that they were in were. I thought that was very good. I loved Kamala's tan suit. I think that I don't know if that was intentional. I hope so. I hope that was a troll of Fox and Friends, and we'll see if they have a tan suit situation tomorrow. And the rest of it was fine. People. This is the thing, right? Like, you're here. You're either here because you're a never Trumper or because you're interested in what never Trumpers have to say. I'm sure if the DNC is having a live YouTube afterward, they thought everything was amazing. Yes, girl, Stan, Queens, and that's cool. It just didn't move me. Right? That was just the thing. Like, to your point, Andrew, I guess maybe the point of it tonight was not to try to win people over. I do think that's a misnomer, though. I had several people who were responding to me criticizing my lukewarm opinion, being like, well, this is what conventions are. It's just for the super fans. It's just for getting people excited. That's not like really right. Like the Khizr Khan moment in 2016 was not for the base. The famous speeches in conventions past have often been, people that are not party loyalists speaking out on behalf of a nominee and giving something memorable, right? And I'm sure we'll get some of that in the next 3 nights, right? So it was just maybe a one night. We had to do a one night box check. Is what you're saying, Edgar?
Well, yeah, and to be clear, not that like none of this stuff is going to matter and come out, but just like the whole like emotional swoop of the programming, the fact that like we were here for hours and like, oh gosh, it's kind of a slog to sit through speech after speech after speech. But I do think there are moments that are going to resonate. I mean, I thought that there were a number of times when people picked out different moments, hit Trump on different things that are going to appeal to kind of different constituencies. I thought AOC did a great job, kind of like doing the out of touch billionaire thing with, drawing on her own experience as a working class person. I thought Raphael Warnock had some good zingers about, talking about Trump holding up the Bible as though it needed his endorsement, endorsing it as though it needed his endorsement.
Okay.
I mean, I think, and we talked about this a little earlier before we went on. I think you mentioned that like there wasn't really like a theme, like a single kind of like line of attack that was advanced, and I think that's like kind of a difficult thing. And you could feel that at times. Like sometimes people wanted to talk about kind of like Trump as if he were sort of a generic Republican, sometimes as though he were like this big time anomaly, sometimes as though he was this never before seen thing. But I mean, that just kind of comes with the territory of Donald Trump. There's a lot of fertile ground to criticize him on, right? So what are they going to do? And I thought that like, I do think a lot of that kind of like felt like just, gosh, a whole lot more of the same and kind of a muddle to us, like watching the whole program. I think a lot of those messages will kind of like trickle down to the people that they're kind of supposed to see on social media and things like that. And maybe have a little bit more impact in a different format than the one we just experienced.
Yeah, I guess again, I thought that the Thane, the UAW guy, is a good example of that. I think that's a speech that could trickle down. I thought Jasmine's and AOC's in a certain way could trickle down and do well on social media. But again, like a lot of the speeches, many of the people in the comments are telling me they were very moved. Of course you were moved. This is my point. Like the tonight was meant for people that are political obsessives, that love Hillary, that love Joe Biden. That's what they were there for. That stuff, I didn't think either of their remarks were really aimed at people that were softer, get off the couch type Democrats. And I think that we're going to have more of that the next 2 nights. Joe, speaking of people that are super fans, what was the vibes in the room? Tell us about the vibes in the United Center.
On the floor, like something that I was looking for was, compared to the RNC, there was a lot less merch or like faces of the candidate. So like the RNC was very Pyongyang, the way there was, just faces of Trump everywhere.
People I like that. Less Pyongyang.
Wearing his face everywhere. I saw like a few fun things, like a group of women had dresses featuring every Democrat on them. Like imagine wearing a dress with Dick Durbin's face on it. And there was like a guy with a crazy sparkly Kamala hat there, but it was really limited. It was more like American flags, red, white, and blue. There was not like the face of the candidate in your face at every single turn the way there was at the RNC.
I'm sure there's somewhere at the DNC headquarters, there's just like a closet full of like Biden 2024 like merch that they were going to have at this convention that they just don't know what to do with.
What about just as far as like, I mean, it didn't seem like there was really any dissension. There's the one protest moment, I guess, Joe, but there was no none of that, none of the 1968
Well,
Chicago worries on the ground
yeah.
tonight.
So I was at the protest this afternoon, and it was they were claiming they were expecting 30 to 40,000. Then their representative told me that they actually had 15,000, which is total bullshit. It was closer to 3,000, which fizzled out quickly. And so, like the clips you've seen of like a little bit of people banging the fences, like that withered to I think fewer than 100 people. So it was very underwhelming for them, and so a group of people breaking it, or not breaking in, but like managing to get into the arena and doing like a little banner. The police were on it really quick. The fans around them were on it really quick to drown it out. And so, it's not going to stick out anywhere other than, twitchy.com or something.
Sebastian, some of the comments are upset that hey, if you did not were not completely moved by tonight, you might be a secret MAGA. So I am wondering, are you considering going back to becoming a MAGA, or do you feel like it was the AOC speech has it totally brought you over to being a Gen Z lib queen?
Yeah, well, I mean, this in my entire career, working at the Bulwark has just been an operation to like infiltrate the never Trump world. And then at this precise moment,
This is your moment.
Yeah.
You're gonna spill.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I find that ironic because I am like, I would say I'm the most liberal person here. And so like, but also like this is the first time I've ever actually watched a convention night all the way through, really, except for like the RNC stuff. I was in college in the 2016 one.
Great. So you're a good focus group then. So who is your favorite? AOC and Jasmine were your favorite?
AOC and Jasmine were my favorites, and like this isn't really what we're talking about because this is supposed to be Biden's big night and Kamala's big week, but like I was watching that just being like she seems to really be like mainstream course correcting a little bit in a way that like will make her more palatable to like not the centrist voters she needs to win the election, but to the Democratic base that she needs to win a primary. And like, the fact that she got up there and she said that she mentioned both like Harris wants a ceasefire and to free the hostages. Like, I know that that's like, that shouldn't be like something that is like to get out of people who are very pro ceasefire or like, big on like free Palestine, but to just say like, we also need the hostages to come home. That's like, she's really trying to make herself palatable as like a candidate.
That's a smart observation. The mainstreaming of AOC is maybe a big story of the last 6 months. And I was hearing from a lot of people who thought she was doing good tonight. You're right though, Sebastian. Thank you for chastising me. This is supposed to be Biden's big night. Andrew, okay, just flame away, people that loved it. And I guess I'm sure that Lawrence is giving an ode to it tonight, but he just gave the State of the Union again. He just gave the State of the Union again. He had a nice there was the nice reference to the American anthem there at the end, as you mentioned, and like I don't know, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes of kind of talking about Kamala and Tim Walz. But besides that, it was just his stump speech. So it just didn't feel to me like it was he came into tonight like trying to do anything as far as to pass the torch. It was just like Biden being Biden. If you liked Biden, great. If you don't like Biden, then it was just okay. And like that was what it was, right?
Right. But I think it's more like if you don't like Biden, well, this was night one, and the whole point of the thing is it's not Biden anymore, right? I mean, like what wasn't it kind of his prerogative to like come in and like
sure, yeah, it was totally his prerogative. I'm just being
with some dignity, and I thought it was good for that. I mean, I think as people who like watched and then did one of these after the State of the Union and watched, chewed all over that and have watched a million Biden speeches, there wasn't a whole lot new to wow us. I thought that one moment where he was like, by the way, it's not true that I'm mad at the people who were calling on me to get out. That would have been cool to get a little more elaboration on that point. That was just kind of a weird aside.
That was a strange aside.
But I mean, and it kind of was just like, oh, that was like a little glimpse into a speech that he might have made. But no, I mean, I think like the Biden was going to get up and do a Biden thing. If that guy were still the Democratic nominee for president, I think everybody knows that
we'd be in deep shit.
Yeah, they're
Sam Stein is here to chastise me. Sam, so you, I assume, were moved by the managing editor. Sam Stein has joined. We're moved by the Biden remarks. I mean, again, this is just me. Everybody can just take it for what it's worth. I don't know. Like, if I'm given a best man speech, I've given quite a few, like at weddings and stuff. Like, I tend to try to focus on the couple. You know, I tend to try to focus the remarks on the people that are getting married rather than on myself. I thought that tonight was maybe an opportunity for Joe Biden to focus more on Harris and Walz. Other people thought that maybe it was just he deserved a night to just kind of talk about how great he was, and that's fine, I guess. What do you think?
I just came here to make sure everyone was behaving properly. But if you want my opinion, I'm happy.
Yeah,
so
I
you
do.
mentioned you mentioned the best man speech. This is a bit of a long windup.
Yeah.
The best wedding toast I ever heard, bar none, had this opening line where the guy is the friend. It was the groom's friend. He got up there and he goes, the first line he said was, "They asked me not to speak tonight," and he just kept going. And I'm bringing that up because, to a degree,
They kind of asked him not to speak tonight.
They kind of asked him not to speak tonight. I mean, I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't think the late start time was intentional because Democrats can't get the
No,
shit
it wasn't
together.
intentional.
Joe can attest they're not great at logistics, and this was proof of that. But clearly, they didn't want him to. You know, they pushed him. It's Monday night. He's the incumbent president. He's not running again. And I think they're not unhappy that he's. I think a lot of people are not unhappy that he's not running again. And I think tonight was kind of proof that the switch up with Harris was clearly strategically the right call. I mean, if you listen to speeches, you said a lot of it was standard stump. I was shocked almost by the absence of sentimentality. Really shocked because this is a man who's been on the stage for 50 years. This is his last big address. This is the last time he'll ever have a crowd of this magnitude with adoration at this levels for him. They went in there worshiping him for doing for self-sacrifice, frankly, and he dwelled on that for very little. And he spent very little time talking about that, and maybe that was strategic. He didn't want to make it about him, want to make it about Trump and Harris, but he did have the right to do it, and he didn't do it. Sure. And I thought for that reason, it was not a very memorable speech. But
you did have the right
that's fine.
What was the best part for you tonight, Sam? We all did our rounds on the
best part of Biden or best
the whole night,
the whole shebang.
That was the best part for you tonight.
It's self-evident. It was when Fight Song came on, and when I got my jam back. Obviously, no, that was terrible. I hated Fight Song coming on. The best part of tonight was when they announced that when they didn't even announce it, when it was very clear that James Taylor was being pushed to post Biden, because I realized that I saved like 10 more minutes of my evening and could get to it quicker.
I was hoping James Taylor was going to do Knocking Around the Zoo. I like that one on Thursday afternoon. I thought
AOC was really good. I know people here probably disagree with this. You disagree with this.
Huge AOC positive.
No,
Everybody
I think you're just going to disagree with what I'm about to say. I thought Hillary, I know you're going to not agree with this, but I thought Hillary did fine. I thought it was backwards looking, but you have to understand, for a whole host of people who want to be reactivated on the Democratic side of things, like that stuff resonates. I think the whole gender stuff, which Harris is not emphasizing at all, like women voters do want to hear it. And there's 5 dudes right here talking on a YouTube.
We're the cream of the crop to talk about this subject.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think we should acknowledge that we're looking at a potentially historic candidate again, and there's a lot of PTSD over what happened in 2016. I think a lot of people do want to hear from her and say, look, I didn't get there, but we're going to get there. So I do think there's some resonance to that.
I thought we have not named shout. Oh no, Joe, coming to you right now. I'm just saying one thing because to give you my positive. Kamala was amazing tonight. Amazing. Kamala comes out to the Freedom. She was really great. 2 minutes, 3 minutes off the cuff. It was tight. It was on message. And she sat there and looked engaged, not like Donald Trump looked at his, was grateful. You saw emotion on her face. Kamala's great tonight. Sorry, Joe, go ahead. I apologize for interrupting you.
I was going to say I wanted Hillary. I don't think she went far back enough. I wanted Goldwater girl Hillary, Arkansas accent, and she didn't do it.
Joe, this is what I'm talking about, though. So people were, Tim, what do you want? What do you want? I don't know. I could have used one speech trying to speak to a swing voter tonight, and Goldwater girl Hillary could have been it. She could have been going back to her roots rather than doing the cracked glass ceiling tweet or speech. That would have been an option. But nobody's mentioned Sean Fain. I thought he was actually pretty good. Anybody have thoughts on him tonight?
Dude, that was amazing. Quoting Nelly and then ripping the shirt off and having Trump as a scab on it. That was so good. Where did this guy come from? He barely won his election as UAW president. Now he's like speaking for all the unions. This guy's like crazy. But
how far back do you have to go, do you think, before you get a Democratic convention and a Republican convention that each featured a guy ripping his shirt off on stage?
That's historic.
I think it's the first time. I think it's the first time. All right. We're running out of time. Sebastian, can you do the Macarena? Were you born during the Macarena? Do you know how it goes?
Well,
a lot of hope that we're getting the Macarena back.
I did this in school. Sometimes they did this in gym class when they ran out of, they were like, we've done basketball for 20 days in a row. We're going to do the Macarena. That was the 1996 DNC, right?
Yeah.
I was born the year after that. So
it was also in Chicago. That was the last Chicago one. You guys, that was a miss. It was a little fact check for Sam and Joe on their YouTube earlier. They didn't get that right. All right, Andrew, you're writing Morning Shots. What's your headline tomorrow? What's the headline for Morning Shots?
I think it's Biden's last lap, right? I mean, it's his victory lap. Maybe I'll pivot. Maybe I'll write about maybe I'll write a big defense of the Bulwark putting 5 guys on its live stream, which the commenters don't seem to be super happy about, as though we had like elbowed a bunch of our colleagues out of the way.
I was desperate for somebody else to do this. You think I want your scorn? You think that I want your scorn? I don't. I wish Sarah was here too. Sorry, Sarah's asleep at 12:40. She's got 3 other jobs. She's running Republican voters against Trump, trying to save the country. I don't know why you're rejecting my headline. Right? My headline of "We are going back, one night only." That's a great headline. We are going back, one night only. Tomorrow we're going forward. Joe, what do we get tomorrow? What's our highlight tomorrow? We got Barry Obama. What else we got tomorrow, Joe? Do we lose Joe? Is he frozen?
It looks like he's frozen.
Okay, that's all right.
A sign of life. No, he's frozen. He's got. Yep, there it is. Sign of life.
Joe, what are we getting tomorrow? Last question. What do you got? What are you looking forward to? What are the people looking forward to? Nothing.
This is great. This is a great tube.
We've lost. This is great tube. All right. Well, guys, here's the thing. If you made it to 12:42 tonight at this YouTube, I got to tell you, you're going to love what we got tomorrow. All right. If you survive this, if you survive this dude's chat, you're going to love what is coming tomorrow, because I got to tell you, Barack Obama, who wasn't my favorite president of all time, but that man knows how to give a convention speech. All right. That guy knows how to give a speech that has a beginning, middle, and end. He knows how to give a speech that has a message that reaches out to swing voters. And he knows how to make fun of Donald Trump. And so I think that we're going to be hitting some Bulwark erogenous zones tomorrow with Barry O. And it'll be a little bit better than what we saw tonight. Any other final thoughts, Sebastian? Your debut on the tube? Any final words for everybody?
No, just want to, it's super late. If you're on the East Coast, it is the next day. And to the over 7,000 people currently still listening to us live, thank you. We love you. And it'll be more exciting this week. We're going to be coconut pilled. We're going to be more and more coconut pilled as the week goes on. Sam is going to
maybe not Wednesday. Maybe not Wednesday. Tuesday and Thursday. Big Tuesday and Thursday for the Bulwark. All right, guys. Adam Kinzinger, when he's out there, we're a lot of Adam Kinzinger coverage. Wall-to-wall Adam Kinzinger coverage on the Bulwark YouTube. Guys, we'll be seeing you soon. Subscribe to the feed. We'll be back tomorrow. Barry's going to be giving us something to get excited about. So we'll see you all then. Peace.